What's up, guys? Patrick Rockstar here, and hey, it's that time again. It's Thursday, doing another music March Madness video. Got four from 1956. We got four from 2015. We're gonna compare them. We're gonna contrast them. We're gonna talk about them, and then we're gonna figure out a winner. So here we go. We've got Elvis's "Heartbreak Hotel," Doris Day's "Que Sara Sara," the Platters, The Great Pretender, and Frankie Lyman's Why Do Fools Fall in Love. This is from 1956. There was a ton of Elvis hits in 1956, so I had to narrow them all down. I had to pick one. I went with Heartbreak Hotel. Cause she baby so lonely, baby. She baby so lonely. She baby so lonely, like a day. I'm Elvis. Obviously an iconic song, huge hit. I mean, he basically ruled this year. In the top 100, he had, I believe, 6 songs in the top 100. Like, it was crazy. So, this song is sort of meant to be sort of representative of his catalog of work over the course of the year. Fantastic song, good swing, obviously iconic, obviously big Elvis hit. Really not a whole lot to say. I mean, it's just a good song. It's catchy. It's swingy. It has that sort of big band feel to it. But, Elvis obviously sells it really well, and there's a reason he was so popular. And this is one of them. And so yeah, thumbs up. And then we're gonna compare that to Doris Day's "Que Sera Sera." Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. I like this song a lot, actually, and it's crazy because there's so much confusion in the beginning of the song, especially in the verses, and it's kind of answered with a really almost beautifully fatalistic way. Just whatever will be, will be. We don't know what the future's gonna be, and I think that's a really interesting idea, especially in 1956, where it's it was a pretty turbulent time. I mean, civil rights were still a few years away, or at least the major fights for them. Some wars were coming up, and so this is sort of the time where things were starting to bubble to the surface, and shit was gonna go down. And so it was nice to hear a song where it's just like, look, we don't know the future, but whatever's gonna happen, it will happen, and don't worry about it. Don't stress about it too much. And this song comes up a lot too. It's another one of those very iconic songs where you still hear it to this day. So Doris Day had a bunch of other hits later on. This is probably her most famous one, and so I think it's really cool to have it represented here. They're both excellent songs, and it's gonna be hard to pick out of the two. I think just Elvis's body of work is gonna race it up past Doris Day's "Que Sera Sera." But like I said, I really do like the song, and I love the idea of the song, but it's Elvis, Maine, and Elvis is just he's winning not just off the strength of Heartbreak Hotel, but off the strength of like Don't Be Cruel and Hound Dog and like all of his other hits. Like it's too much. Anyway, let's move on. We got the Platters with "The Great Pretender" and Frankie Lemon with "Why Do Fools Fall in Love." I don't think it's any secret that I'm a big fan of the Platters, and "The Great Pretender" is such a great song. It's so mournful. We've all been there. We've all tried to put on a good face, tried to put on a happy face, and this song is taking it, farther than most people do. Where he's just like, hey, I'm gonna pretend you're still around, so I'm not sad and I don't cry all the time. And I think we've all been there. And the Platters are really good at tapping into these very sort of simple moments that kind of happen in love. And this one is great because it is so reflexive relative to "Only You." You can easily see "The Great Pretender" following "Only You," where it's like, You were everything I had. Now you're gone, and I'm still trying to hold on. I'm still trying to pretend that you're there. So I like this idea. I like this song quite a bit. Just my mic here real quick. And then we have Frankie Lemon's "Why Do Fools Fall in Love," and this song is nuts because like he died like very young, and this was kind of their only hit. And but it's crazy because when you scroll down the Hot 100, there's like 5 versions of this song all in a row in 1956. Like, I didn't even know that. I mean, maybe they're different versions of the song. I didn't really do that much exploration of it. But he just had a voice. He had a presence, and it's a guy, But his falsetto was so high, you could easily think. I thought he was a girl, when I was a kid and hearing this song. And I love it. It's like it's got a pop swing to it. It's upbeat, but like it's definitely sad. He's like he knows he can't do anything about this love that he feels. And it's sort of the same way like with The Great Pretender, where it's like you can't. I think that's the thing I like most about both of these songs. It's just like these feelings well up, and there's nothing you can do about them. And I really like that idea. Ultimately, though, as much as I like Frankie Lemon's song, I think it's a little incongruous to have such a happy song relative to a sort of a sad subject matter. And I think The Great Pretender is better, and it fits better in that. And the emotion is cleaner and more pure, and it hits a little harder. So we've got Heartbreak Hotel. We've got The Great Pretender. Who's going to win? Doggone it. Sorry, Great Pretender is so good. And it's hard to say that it's better than all Elvis songs, but I do think it's better than Heartbreak Hotel. Even though Heartbreak Hotel is supposed to be representative sort of Elvis, but he's got other hits. He'll be back. We're not gonna. Elvis is not gonna be off this list anytime soon. That being said, The Great Pretender. I've been there. I've been there so many times where, I see a girl and she's fantastic, and there's nothing I can do about it. She just doesn't feel the same way, but your heart is still there. You can't tell your heart how to feel. And so I think, to me, that resonates a lot more. So yeah, our winner for 1956, The Platters, Great Pretender. Moving on, 2015, we've got Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars with Uptown Funk, Walk the Moon's Shut Up and Dance, Sam Smith's Stay With Me, and Sia's Chandelier. So let's start with Uptown Funk versus Shut Up and Dance. Uptown Funk at the time, not anymore, but thanks to Despacito, but at the time was the highest viewed song on YouTube ever. 3.8 billion views. Obviously, that's something to talk about, certainly. But I think the main story here is that it brought back a really cool, funky era song that we hadn't heard in a long time to the mainstream in 2015. Like, who could do that? I mean, the only person who could do that, Bruno Mars. I mean, it's very indicative of the power that he has, and just his brilliance as an artist and as a singer. And I think the song absolutely deserves to have 3.3 billion. And then you've got Walk the Moon, Shut Up and Dance, which does the same thing. It brings back songs and styles from a different era, in this case the 80s, and this really big 80s hook, 80s feel. It feels momentous. The song feels momentous. And it definitely calls back to a time when music was not its most influential, but it really mattered in the 80s. Music was so prevalent, and it moved in the world, and it changed the world. And now I feel like there's just so much music out there, and there's so much access to it, that we don't connect to music as much as we used to. And I think Walk the Moon is indicative of that time. It's just a fantastic song, and the dancer in the video, fucking A, gets me every time. So ultimately, I've got 2 songs calling back from 2 different eras. Both of them had big cultural impact. unfortunately, as much as I love Shut Up and Dance, I think Uptown Funk is just gonna last. It's a classic now. It's gonna last for a long time. It calls back to an era, but it's also of its own time too. And so I think ultimately its power is gonna beat it and take over Shut Up and Dance. So moving on, Sam Smith's Stay With Me and Sia's Chandelier. And this is interesting because we've got contrasts now, right? Stay With Me is about being vulnerable, is about knowing that this isn't love, but I just need some closeness tonight. Whereas Chandelier is about just going balls out and throwing caution to the wind and just saying, I don't know what's going to happen, but tonight I'm going to go for it. I'm going to throw it out there. And what's cool about both of these songs, and I think what connects these songs, is sort of the momentariness of both of them. Whereas Sam Smith is, I'm in this moment, I'm very vulnerable, I need you to hold me. Whereas Sia is like, in this moment, I'm going to leave it all out there, and I'm going to go balls to the wall and throw caution to the wind and swing from the chandelier, right? So I think ultimately the question is, one, which one is going to probably last longer, and, which one hits harder? Yes, they hit in two different styles, but which one is really going to impact you the most? And, I've already got another Sam Smith song on here. Stay With Me is a fantastic song, but I think the sheer raw power of Chandelier is ultimately going to beat Stay With Me. So, Chandelier, boom, just is going to take the cake. So, we've got Uptown Funk, we've got Chandelier, we've got two powerful songs. We've got a slickly produced callback to the 70s versus a song for the moment, a champion of the moment song in Chandelier. And, it's hard to pick. It's really hard to pick. I think ultimately, though, I think one of the themes that sort of runs through all these videos is the idea of sort of timelessness. And I think Uptown Funk is going to be more timeless. I think it's going to last much longer and have a much more significant cultural impact than Chandelier does. And quite frankly, it's just a better song. It snaps, it pops, it's there. You can sing to it, you can groove to it. It always puts you in a good mood. Chandelier, you're not always in the mood for it, and I enjoy that song, but I don't always want to hear it. Whereas Uptown Funk, I think I could listen to over and over and over and over again forever. So, our winner for 2015, Uptown Funk, no surprise, biggest song of the year. So, what have we got? We've got The Great Pretender, nice, very, very sad song, iconic song, very timeless kind of song. We've got Uptown Funk, which is also, is going to be iconic, is going to be timeless. I think had this song come out in the 70s or 80s, it would be iconic to this day. So the real question is, which one's better? Uptown Funk has got its style, its swagger. It calls back to things like Morris Day and The Time and that really cool late 70s, early 80s funk. And like I said, at the time, biggest video ever. Is that enough to beat the Platters, which in The Great Pretender, really capture that feeling of I'm not ready to let go yet, and I can't let go. Whereas Uptown Funk clearly is about just letting it all go and letting it hang loose. And so which one's going to win? Which one's better? Is it the time-honored sort of Great Pretender, or is it the awesomeness of Uptown Funk? Gotta go with Uptown Funk. It's too good. Uptown Funk is a powerhouse of a song. It will be an iconic song. It might be iconic already. I don't know. It's already been 3 years, but that song is still with us and will continue to be with us. And I think will always come up and will be a defining moment in Bruno Mars's career and a defining moment of the 2010s. And while the Platters and The Great Pretender is awesome, Uptown Funk is just too good. So, Uptown Funk is our winner. 2015 beats 1956. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. The Rockstar will see you later.